Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of We Want to Know, where we ask exceptional people the questions that my brother and I are curious to know. For our first episode, we interviewed Keith Peters, principal of Gator Run Elementary. He was a teacher for 4 years and has been a school principal for 9 years. He's taught at 2 schools and has been the principal of 2 other schools. He also hosted a TED Talk in 2015, where he stressed the importance of failure, which we will be discussing later in the interview. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Who was your role model growing up and why?
That's an easy question. My parents are my role models. My dad, because he showed me what hard work was all about and doing whatever it takes for your family. And my mom, because she stayed home with us. She kind of was the neighborhood mom. We were the house that everybody came to, So all my friends in the neighborhood, whenever we were playing sports or we used to do like neighborhood Olympics and things like that, our house was the house to go to, so much so that some of my friends would come to my house when I wasn't there and just walk right in and hang out with my parents. So my mom made that kind of environment that, everybody was welcome. So those are my role models.
What is your favorite thing about your job?
My favorite thing about my job is getting to hang out with kids. I can never complain about having a bad day because I get to hang out with people like you every day. My part of my job is, getting to be around kids and trying to help make kids' lives better. And, it's super enjoyable to do that and to be able to help the teachers help the kids make the kids' lives better as well. It's rewarding, very rewarding.
What moment made you want to be a principal?
Okay, so I was a teacher before this. I taught 3rd and 4th grade. And I worked for someone who used to come around and tell us everybody was doing a great job, but would never visit our rooms. And I thought, well, that's interesting. How do you know how we're doing a great job? So I said, I want to be that person who goes around and sees what everybody's doing and try to make sure everybody, is doing the best they can for kids. And I thought, what a great way to be able to still be a teacher, but also kind of affect more kids than I could just with a small classroom. When I was a teacher, I could only affect 20 kids at a time. Now at a school like Gator Run, we have 1,300 kids. I get to affect 1,300 kids every single day. Pretty amazing. And it's a big school. Yes.
Really?
So I think 1,343 as of today.
Oh my gosh. How is being an elementary school principal different from being a high school or middle school?
It's interesting. I was at a high school the other day and I was looking how big it is and so much. We're a pretty big elementary school, one of the largest for sure. But I would imagine it's harder to get to know every single kid. And that's my favorite part, is getting to know the kids, is knowing their names and knowing a little bit about their stories and who they are and what they like. And I think at a high school you can still have some power and power over influencing kids' lives, but it can't be as personal as we get to do here at elementary school. I think that's the big difference in my mind.
What is one memory you have during your career that made you proud of being a principal?
Wow. It's not just one memory, it's any time that kids come back and see me. And it's either coming back to the school and visiting me, or if I bump into them at a restaurant or the beach or at Disney, and they come up and they give me a hug or a high five and they tell me how much they miss me and how much they wish that they could come back to school with me again. That's really what it's all about, is changing lives. That's what education is.
Now it's my turn.
Uh-oh, now I'm scared.
No, it's fine. So, based on your TED Talk, I loved it, by the way.
Thank you.
I watched it. It helped me with all the college application process and everything, calmed me down.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And you said that failing, you need to fail in order to succeed. So what was one of your biggest failures, and what did you learn from that?
Well, and I talk about it in my TED Talk, is I was a kid I was a great student. I only had A's and B's when I was in elementary school. People, oh, this guy's on the fast track, and I got lazy because of that. I never did poorly in school, and so when finally some work got challenging to me in middle school and then in high school particularly, I didn't know how to cope with that, and so I ended up failing, ended up getting my first F's in high school, and I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know how to deal with that, and so it made me kind of turn me off to school for a while. Actually, it took me a while I didn't even get into education until I was in my late 20s by the time I became a teacher, because I was turned off to what school was. And that kind of helped formulate what my beliefs about school are and what we can do for kids, and how we have to kind of move away from focusing on the grades so much, and kind of build people up and build up your resiliency, to these times when you don't succeed.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was on the fast track like you were too, like elementary school, and then middle school I was in the GEM program, and then high school, like ACE classes just got like really hard, and especially for math for me, I was just like I can't,
yeah.
And I just like stopped trying. But then like I realized that it's not all about your grades, it's also about like what you learn.
Absolutely.
And why do you think it's good to fail?
It's life, right? I mean, there is no way around it. We are all going to fail at something. And it's not, see, that's one thing I think we need to look at the word fail, is some people look at it as if fail or to be a failure means that it's over, right? And that's it, I can't move on from it. But that's not true. It's like a bump in the road, basically. It's, you don't succeed at something, but you still have opportunity to try again. And it might not be in the same path, but and maybe I don't continue down the same road I was on, but it taught me a lesson that that's not where I'm supposed to go, and maybe I go in a different way. Or it shows me, well, I've got to work a little bit harder, and we can use it in all different aspects of our lives, but failure is just part of everything that we do, and we have no way, we can't avoid it. It's something that's, it's a learning tool more than anything else.
Okay, so in light of the recent tragedy at Stoneman Douglas, what is one solution to propose hypothetically to make our schools safer?
Wow, obviously we've been thinking about that a lot, and I was happy to be at Stoneman yesterday when they brought all of the families back and did an orientation there. So we had all the principals there, and it was beautiful to see a community coming together and kind of embracing each other and supporting each other, and that part was just amazing. As far as making schools safer, it's hard because we have a couple of different things we have to do. One, we have to look at our societal problems, which causes people to do something horrific like that, and that's something that's unfortunately deeply ingrained in our society, and I think education is part of that, and we need to start focusing more on the whole child rather than, we talked about grades, is when school becomes only about tests and about grades, it almost forces teachers to have that kind of point of view, and they try their best. Teachers get into this because they want to help kids, and they want to help, like I said earlier, they want to help make kids' lives better. And when you're focused so much on just grades and test scores, you might miss out on some of the emotional aspects about the job, and getting kids to be prepared to fail, and to be able to prepare to have times when you're sad and depressed, and being able to be that ear for the kids. And so we've got to work on that part of it. As far as like the specific safety issues, vigilance is important in all aspects of our society. My hope is that every school right now doesn't have a school resource officer, but we should have someone on staff who we can, hope that can, be here in this case of, an unfortunate event. But I think in the education field we need to be given more trust to be able to do what we do best, and to kind of move away from that. And I'm not trying to say there shouldn't be accountability in schools, but educators should be allowed to focus more on the whole child, and helping make better citizens and people who care about the world and care about each other. That, to me, that's more important than anything else.
And what are your thoughts on high school students like myself going and taking a stand? Because I've gone to walks, and I was actually at Stoneman yesterday too, to like leave flowers and just like hug people as well. So what do you think of? I
am behind you 100%. I am blown away. I'm looking at Emma Gonzalez, and the fact that I think the last time I checked she had 980,000 followers, and that's in less than 2 weeks of creating her account. And you can see the power of social media, and you can see the power of voice. And I'm a big proponent of student voice, and we've got to do more of that. We've got to hear what the students are talking about, what they believe in, what they care about. One of the things I do that here at elementary school on the smaller levels, I have lunch with every one of our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students every year. And I do that because I want to hear what they have to say, what they like about school, what are their interests outside of school, and how can we help make school better for them, because that's obviously why we're here. And so you think about high school students taking a stand, and this is what it's all about. I'm more proud to be an educator than ever before when I see children like you, young adults that are now stepping up and voicing your opinion. I mean, to me, it makes me proud. This is what it's all about for us, is building people who are socially conscious and people who are articulate, people who are able to defend their ideas and not afraid to share those ideas. You're going to change the world, and I'm like super excited. I'm kind of jealous. Part of me wants to work at a high school so that I can be part of the ride a little bit, you know, just so I can kind of feel that energy. I mean, I feel it kind of just as a person, you know, on the outside right now. But I mean, to me, it's amazing. As an educator, I mean, my heart glows when I hear things like that.
And he has a little riddle for you.
Oh my gosh.
What did the librarian take fishing?
I don't know. What did the librarian take fishing?
Bookworms.
Oh, wait a second, man. Wait a second.
I love that one.
My little drum thing at the end for you.
Oh, yeah. You love that one. Yeah, that's all the questions that we have.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. That was great.
Thank you.
Great questions, both of you. I
Great
appreciate
answers.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, natural.
Go for it. Yep, go for it, man. Sometimes it does not keep score, just so you know. That was 1 minute. That was fast. Good match, man.
All right.
That was cool.